Before you watch this episode, I gotta make this video and add this in. I'm editing the video, and when I was recording, the camera was acting funny and it wasn't focusing. Right. So when you look at the episode, you're gonna see, my camera is gonna be a little blurry, but hopefully it doesn't throw you off. But it's a great conversation with Ariel. Watch it, enjoy the episode, tell me what you think. Sorry about that. It won't happen again. But I had to make this video so like that para que tú veas. All right, so today we have a special guest. Thank you guys for coming back. And today I wanted to interview somebody because I want to highlight people from the community that are doing stuff, making stuff happen. And it's good to see our people progress, right? And this person has built successful restaurants here in New York City and Florida and many different places. One of the few like Dominican entrepreneurs. I feel like there are a lot of Dominican entrepreneurs, but you don't meet much of them. And I would love to sit down and have a conversation with somebody that hopefully that you can learn something, inspire something in you, especially somebody that comes from our community that's building our community. And we're going to turn around, like he helped build MamaSushi. We have like a couple of, like, I think we have 4 MamaSushis, am I right?
There's quite a few. There's about, I would say 5.
There's 5 MamaSushis. And for all of you guys that do not know what MamaSushi is a fusion Dominican sushi spot where you get like sushi with plátanos, mango, but you also get traditional sushi. So you get Japanese. It's a mixture of like what you want, the best of the Dominican culture infused with Japanese, right? And he also helped build an Italian restaurant, which is extremely successful in the Bronx. It's called Leña. So I want to dive into the mind of what helps him tick. Let's get to know him a little bit. And everybody, welcome Ariel Espinal.
Welcome. Thank you for having us here.
Thank you for being here, bro.
Thank you.
We actually met for the Pero Like video. I did a Pero Like video of MamaSushi.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, that one went viral.
That was fun.
Yeah.
You want to hear something crazy? I don't know if I ever told you this, but I was supposed to do... that was by accident, the MamaSushi.
Oh yeah, you told me.
Right? So before that, I was supposed to I was not living in New York City. I was in LA, but I wanted to highlight a Dominican restaurant, a Dominican food. And I wanted to highlight somewhere in New York City, especially the place where I grew up at. Y yo dije, lo único que yo sabía era caridad. Porque yo me crié eating caridad and all this extra stuff. So the first place I went to was Caridad, bro.
Yeah. Wow.
And we went over there. I was like, yo, let me shoot a video, whatever. It's free. I was like, I'm not charging, right? I wasn't even asking for free food because I'm like, we were willing to pay too, right? We don't be like, oh, can you comp it? You see what I'm saying? And they were like, oh, you know what? They turned us down.
Wow.
Caridad was like, nah, we're not going to do this. We you know that, right?
Well, their loss, our gain,
And the funny thing, we're like, when they turned us down, we're like, oh my God, we got to shoot a video, but we don't have a restaurant. And my sister was like, you should do it at MamaSushi. And that's when I called MamaSushi and you picked up the phone.
Yeah.
I talked to you directly. And I was like, we were shooting in City College for something. And we're like, oh, we got to get this video done. We don't have a place. I wouldn't even know if MamaSushi was going to say yes.
Yeah.
Right? And luckily you was like, yeah, come over.
Well, that's when we actually started, the location here in Harlem.
Mm-hmm.
And, it was a little rough at the beginning. Obviously when you open up any restaurant at the beginning, it's a little rough.
Yeah.
So all hands was on deck, all the partners, all the, all the managers, everybody was working.
Wow.
So that's,
So it was still in the beginning stages, like everybody was like, and you were there at that time.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because right now you're rarely at 145th.
Yeah, from time to time.
You're mostly in the Bronx.
Mostly in the Bronx, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, you came up, we shot that video. That video went viral, bro. Went viral.
The doors started getting jammed up once that came out.
But the video,
Yeah, people was coming. It just went. I think we had 3 million views or something like that.
It was like 3 million views.
Yeah, and that's at the beginning when this is when social media is coming up, and it's
when not a lot of people were doing like taste tests.
No, there was no influencers that time. There was none of that stuff.
Yeah, Yeah, mira, vamos a la cosa. Yo lost Caridad. I remember like, yo, are you guys sick? I remember talking to Caridad, bro, and I was like, bro, are you serious right now? Like, yo, like, we're not charging. Like, we're gonna we're gonna promote your place. You're like, nah, we're too busy right now. We can't. Está bien. Y mira cómo funcionó.
Eso es así.
And look, we built a relationship afterwards.
Absolutely.
Like, bro, like ever since then, like, you're one of the few people that we've done videos and that's gone successful. But also, I think what we wanted at that time was make us look good.
Yeah.
We're putting our name out there. Like, we didn't charge people, but all we wanted was, if people are gonna come through the doors, make sure that they have a great service. That whatever we said was not a lie, right? And that's all we cared about. And then you guys held the end of the bargain. It was, I still go to MamaSushi. Yeah. So anybody that comes to New York City, I'm like, we're gonna go to MamaSushi. You know what I mean? So now you also opened up the one in the Bronx.
Yeah.
And that one's successful.
Yeah, the MamaSushi over there is more, you have a different crowd. You have, it's a bigger space. So you're able to do a little bit more,
Yeah, so it's lit. And you got Leña next door.
Yeah, so Leña's next door. And the reason why we did Leña was because, there was a crowd that was going and they were more into, no loud music, more into the food, and, they didn't want to be with hookah and stuff like that. They didn't want the teteo, that energetic vibe. But then you had a crowd that wanted that. So we had to decide, and MamaSushi is that, MamaSushi is not a boring place, it's kind of fun, where you want to go, listen to music, you want to, have drinks and party a little bit. So it's got like a loungy feel. So we had the crowd that didn't want to, be a part of that. They just wanted to eat the food that was good. So we said, we got space next door.
And you're like, let me go suit something completely different, like Italian.
Yeah. So the restaurant that was in MamaSushi in the Bronx was there for 75 years, which was Louis Seafood. So it was a landmark for 75 years. So, obviously we took over that and we converted that into MamaSushi. So next to it, the space became available, and we said, what, let's do an Italian restaurant, a little twist to it, put it a little modern, give it a little nice, nice feel to it, which has been, the feedback's been great.
Yeah.
And we've got a lot of support from, the locals.
It's
which
classy.
Is great.
I think that's a place you want to go and take a girl out on a date.
We've got a few proposals there.
Wow. Yeah. So what got you into the restaurant industry anyways?
Well, I started very young. I started when I was 13. I started at a country club.
It's like silence this.
So we started at a country. I started at a country club, and I started working there as a towel boy. So I used to give the towels out to the members when they used to come out the pool. So I had to run.
No,
it was all these rich people that had to go and give them towels, and after that the season was over, and then they offered me a job to work as a busboy up top in the dining rooms. I mean, these country clubs, some of them got 5-6 restaurants in a club.
Wow.
And we would do bat mitzvahs, we would do weddings, all these crazy banquet events. And it was something that at an early age I started working with, my family, Gabriel.
How old were you at the time?
I was 13, 14.
13, 14?
At that point, I became 14 because it was in summer of August. And then once I started taking the bus, I used to take the train, the one train to 242nd. From 242nd, take the 2 bus, the 1, and then go to Getty Square. And Getty Square, take the 6 bus.
Wow!
And then it would be a mission.
So it was a trip.
And not only that,
early in the morning.
Those buses had schedules, so you miss the bus, you either got to take a cab if you want to make it on time, or you got to wait an hour for the next bus.
Yeah.
So it was a little mission. So I mean, through rough roads, it becomes, the challenge. And
do you think that you built a relationship with the people there from the country club that had that cultivated this or help you? Did any of those relationships help you get into the
business? The country club was kind of like a start. And then after that, I worked there for like two years. Then I worked in a place in Scarsdale called Bacall's. It was the Heathcote Tavern. So I worked in the 5 corners there, and I started working there with a few people that owned restaurants in the city. So when that closed, I went down to the city, and in the city, I got opportunities to go to the Hamptons. So as I get older, through this time. So now I'm like, what, 17, 18 years old. I'm still going to high school. I'm going through high school through all this time. And then it hits me.
How are you doing in school at that time? Like, are you like?
Well, I'll be honest with you. You want me to be really honest?
I want you to be honest. Yeah, be 100%.
Freshman, sophomore year, I was really good. But then junior year, you want to be cool, you want to go with the flow, you know.
Tú te ves que tú no era fácil.
Cuando chiquito, no. I used to hop around. They used to they tell me a story, but I wasn't that bad. I wasn't that bad.
Okay.
And after that, we went and where was I? I was in.
I don't know you.
So I started working. So when I'm about to graduate high school, I asked myself, I'm working at the restaurant and I need to go to school. I don't want to look bad. Like, I'm not going to college or anything. So I said, you know what? Let me go to Lincoln Tech. That was the automotive school. I like cars. I like doing mechanics and stuff. Since I was little, I used to take things apart and put it together.
Yeah.
Like I would get a new toy and I would break it apart just to see the dynamics of how the thing worked,
Yeah.
And then put it together and make it work again. And so I just said, maybe I'll go to mechanic and I'll like it.
Yeah.
So I went to mechanic school. This is 2008. I remember because this was when the market and everything crashed. And I'm still working at the restaurant. So I went for a couple months. Then I said, let me ask something. I'm running food now. So I'm making, good money, like about $1,000 a week. And I said, you know what? Let me ask the teacher something. I said, yo, teacher, how much does a mechanic make? He goes, well, the mechanic starts around $45,000, $55,000. That was in that time.
Which is not bad at that time.
It's not bad. But I said, I'm making that right now.
No way.
I said, I could be a server, then I could be a manager, then I could own my own place. So I said, you know what? I'm gonna dedicate myself to the restaurant business.
And you were liking the restaurant business already?
Yeah, I liked it. I don't know. I just had a passion for it. I would when I was at the restaurant, it was T-Bar Steak and Lounge with Tony Fortuna. He passed away with pancreatic cancer, but he taught me a lot. I used to go early in the restaurant, and anything that was broken, a light bulb that was broken or out, I would go. I had the account to go to the hardware store down the street. I would go get the light bulb myself, and nobody needed to tell me.
Yeah.
So I started doing this, and I did it more for myself. My coworkers would be like, "Why are you gonna do that?" And things like that. And the reason why I did it was because I wanted to learn, how to fix something. I wanted to, because one day you're gonna have your own place, and you know what? Instead of you paying someone to go and change a light bulb or change this or do that, do it yourself. You save some money,
Yeah. So for you, it was just like, this is the educational part, because one day I might own my own spot.
Correct, yes. I always wanted. My mother's a great cook, so I said, you know what? I'll get my mom to be the chef, and have her, cook for people, give the recipes and train the people, and I can do it with my mother.
Yeah.
So that's where I had the mind. I used to change pipes in the middle. I used to love doing it.
Yeah, okay.
Tony would always give me extra money. Here's $100. I freaking did a job and it cost him $1,000, but he'll give me $100. But I appreciate it. He didn't have to do it.
Yeah.
I didn't have to do it neither. But it's just,
So when was the turning point that you were like, okay, now what was the first time that you got into like building these businesses,
So,
what was the first business you got into?
So the first one that I got into was MamaSushi here in Harlem. That one, an opportunity rose. At that time, it wasn't doing that great, but it's got a lot of potential. And there was so much other stuff going on. The guys that I was working with, they didn't have as much experience in the business. But I went in and I told them, listen, we got to go in, we got to work, and we got to make things happen. So that's what we did. We started everything.
But why, because that thing, that was a concept that was that concept already around, sushi, plátano sushis.
Yeah.
Was that already a concept before that you saw work somewhere and you're like, okay, because that's a major risk to be like, okay, I'm gonna try something completely new and bring it into a city that nobody knows about this. It's completely new. So So that's like it's an uphill battle.
Yeah.
At the same time.
Well, lucky me, the concept MamaSushi was already created before I came in.
Okay, gotcha.
You know, so it was in Dykeman for quite a while. About what I would say, 10. I don't. What year was it? 2007, something like that.
Okay.
So it was already around, which is Susana, and Raymond. They were the guy. They were who created
the concept.
The concept, yeah. They created the whole MamaSushi. They're the owners of the brand now.
The pioneers.
Yeah, they're ones that started everything. So lucky for me, I just hopped on board, and I put in the little that what I knew, and I brought in like the fine dining experience and focused more on service.
Yeah.
And put it together, and with what MamaSushi already had to offer, it was a perfect combination and a perfect opportunity to just blow it out of the map. It was a lot of work at the beginning. Once I came in, pretty much the whole staff, everybody left.
Yeah.
So I was stuck with pretty much just with like 2 employees.
No way. And then that's the tough part, because they said the restaurant business lasts 5 years. Like at that moment when you went in and you were left with 2 employees, be honest. Do you feel like this was gonna fail right then and there?
I'm gonna be honest with you. 1,000%. I went in. I pushed as much as I could. I tried to do as much as I could. But then at one point, I was ready to put in the towel. I asked myself, what the hell did I get myself into? I said I should have just been a server.
Wow.
First of all, servers up in the world, they make decent money.
Yeah.
Especially
with tips.
They make very good money.
And they don't have that risk of the.
And they come in, start taking tables, leave, do cash out, see you later.
Yeah.
They don't have to deal with the rent, the increases, the Con Ed, the insurance,
buying the food, importing the food.
Dealing with this. I just came from Restaurant Depot.
Quality control. Yeah.
So it's just, it's a tough business. You if you want to go into it, listen, it could be very rewarding, but you just have to, put your mind to it, know exactly, but you don't have too much space to make mistakes.
No. And what do you feel like, after, what do you think was it that helped it blow up? Because I feel like it had a blow up moment.
Yeah, you.
Okay.
you put out that video, and I believe that helped out a lot, to be honest. I always told you, you give credit where credit's due. And,
I appreciate that, man. Thank you for that.
And you're welcome. And it was, it was there, and the hard work. We had a great, we started hiring, people, and they were actually really good. We had a great team.
What do you think? What are some lessons learned that you'd be like, okay, this was what makes us a successful restaurant?
So what do you mean, like?
Because like restaurant business is like one of the toughest businesses, as you know, yeah, of course. But I think it's a scary endeavor to venture, right? But like if you were to start because you're already you're part of the process of building these restaurants. Yeah. What do you think makes a successful restaurant? What do you think that the necessity, or somebody, like if I was to start a restaurant, what are things I need to really have to be like, this is what's going to make it successful? Yeah.
Well, John Levano's I used to work for. He's great. He had a few restaurants. He has a few restaurants. And the Levano's family, I worked with them. I managed their places, and I learned a lot there. He always told me, he says, the trick to a restaurant is just location.
Okay.
So it's just, focus finding the right location. Don't be afraid of the rent. Some people, sometimes, if you could buy the property, amen. If you got it, do it. If you got the right location. But the most important thing is the location of where you want to open up your place, and know your demographics. You got to know who's going to come into your place. You got to know your price points. You got to know how much is your menu? Are people around the area going to be able to afford it? Are you going to bring people in from other areas? Is there parking? Is there, what can you give to the customer that someone else? What is the reason for them to come to that location?
Gotcha.
Is it convenience instead of them going downtown? That's pretty much the main thing.
So that was the concept behind, because every time I go to MamaSushi in the Bronx, it's packed.
Yeah.
It's packed.
Yeah.
You know, what kind of research do you do to be like, yo, this was going to be successful here?
So I'm gonna be honest with you. What happened in the Bronx was that we were all in Harlem, and we had too much talent. I'll be honest with you. At one point in Harlem, we had the general manager Tanner that I worked with.
Yeah.
And then I came in the picture, and it was just too much talent in one small space.
Yeah.
So then the guys that I work with, they go, Ariel, why don't you leave this alone and go find something else? Like find somewhere else to do something.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, you guys are kicking me out of this place?
Yeah.
So they're like, no, we're not kicking you out. It's just we could probably do something else. So go and do a research. So, Eddie that I work with, he goes to me, why don't you go to East Tremont?
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, you want to open up a restaurant in East Tremont? Sure. So I left kind of upset, and I was like, these guys, they trying to kick me out? They don't need me anymore?
Yeah. Which is a good thing at the same time.
Yeah,
right?
but it was a great thing.
Yeah.
So I went actually to East Tremont where he told me, and I started checking the places around there. I saw a few places like Havana, Mama Juana. These places were there, and I saw that they were doing good. So I said, you know what? When you go look for a restaurant space, what do you look for? Gas, electricity. So if it used to be a restaurant before,
does it have the equipment, which helps?
Well, when you have your mindset that you want to do something big and nice, you want to start with all new equipment.
Oh, no way.
So we did a gut through reno on that one. But when I was driving by, I saw this big sign that said for lease, and it was the only space in East Street on the Throgs Neck area available.
Yeah, which is scary at the same time because the economy is not so strong.
Correct. And I'll tell you what happened to us, because Bronx was a pandemic restaurant.
Okay.
So I found a space. So I told the guys, I said, you know what, let's go check this place out. So when we go check out the place, everybody's like, whoa. A few people had already checked it out. Everybody was afraid of the investment. Everybody was afraid of how to make it happen. It was just they couldn't see the vision.
Yeah.
Ceilings were low. It's a place that was there for 75 years.
Yeah.
You could only imagine. Nothing in there worked.
Yeah.
So I hit up the landlord, and I said, we're interested in space. Could we see it? He goes, okay. I said, listen, I don't want to waste your time, and I don't want you to waste my time. I said, nothing in there is good, and you're gonna have to dump everything in there.
Yeah.
I said, okay. And he goes, all right, so I'll show you the space. So we go in there. Obviously, we're like, oh, maybe we could save this, we could save that. We was like, no, nothing in here is good. So what we did was, we just went with the flow, to be honest.
Yeah.
We signed the lease a month later.
But then after that, it was like a hardcore negotiations. Am I right?
Well, we got, it wasn't too much, because those are easy negotiations. You're putting, a nice, decent amount of money into a building.
And they're like,
and you have your vision, so you could ask pretty much, because nobody is gonna go do that.
Yeah.
So you can ask for whatever you want. So we got there a 1 year free rent.
Ooh.
So we got the build out, time, and then once we had the place built out, this was 2019. It was 2020. The pandemic hits.
Ooh.
So we got a brand new place,
and then people can't even come in.
People can't come in. It's built.
Yeah.
And we don't know what to do with it. Nobody knows where it's going. We closed Harlem for a month.
Oh yeah.
And we said, and then we were so bored. Everybody was bored. I called one of the chefs, and I said, "Yo, chef, well,
do you have to lay anybody off, or like at that time?
We laid everybody off, at that time. We didn't know what was happening. We cleaned out the whole restaurant. We gave all the food away to the staff.
Do you feel like you had to close down the restaurant permanently, or
we didn't know what was happening. Everybody was just trying to figure out,
And this pandemic took a long time.
Yeah,
it took longer. I think everybody thought when the pandemic hit, we thought it was like, oh, everything was, because every time we hear a pandemic, before that we were like, oh, it was gonna be like a couple of months.
Yeah.
Right, but this pandemic I think it took over like a year, bro.
More.
Like people people celebrating graduations. They had to graduate from home. Like
Zoom.
People doing Zoom meetings, Zoom baby showers. Like it could completely change. Like I remember we were doing videos from home. Like it was just like the pandemic really changed a lot of things, and we didn't expect it to be that long. So I could imagine, you still got to pay the rent.
Yeah. So some landlords worked. Some didn't. Here in Harlem, no, he says just pay it whenever you can.
Yeah.
You know, and then the one in the Bronx is like, you know what, just give me half. Don't worry about it. We'll get through this. You know,
Okay.
so we, you know, there were some good landlords and some bad landlords through that time, but you know.
Bruh. And then afterwards, you're like, okay, Mama Sushi open, and then in the Bronx, it's a major success because you walk up there, bro. Es una discoteca.
Yeah.
At nighttime,
we try to stay away from it, you know, sometimes because we like to be more restaurant.
more restaurant.
You know, you got good food, so why not offer it, you know?
It's such a Dominican thing. It's
Yeah.
such a Dominican thing to be like restaurant throughout the day. Things are calm.
Lounge.
The lounge, it tastes good. You're eating well, and then the night the sun goes down, and when the sun goes down for Dominicans, the music goes up. You're eating at this restaurant. You looked around. The hookahs are on the table, and the food is fantastic, bro. And it's like I don't think people understand that it's not only sushis. Like they have like crab cakes. They have octopus.
So I'm gonna tell you a secret. The chef for MamaSushi is David Nunez. He's been around for a while. You know, he's done big restaurants like Española.
Wow.
I wasn't old enough to go to these places, but you know, he's done big restaurants in Dominican Republic.
Okay.
He's got this flavor that, you know, it's amazing.
It's amazing.
He combines a lot of different, you know, flavors that we make fun of him. We say, where you got this from? Hawaii or, you know.
People.
Let me tell you something. He don't even speak English, but he speaks Japanese, and he's Dominican Moreno. You know, so So
he's amazing. We sat down. We had a long conversation with him. Like he knows his thing, and I think what makes him different, bro. I think is he's extremely passionate about what he does.
Oh yeah, no, listen. He is. He's very. When he puts his mind to it,
bro. Like I love people like that. I like people that are detail oriented.
Yeah.
I remember I got a dish and he walked up and he looked at my dish and I was like, I was happy with it. It looked good to me. And he was like, no. Send all this shit back. He sent all my food back and re-prepared my food. And when it came back, you hit it's a masterpiece. You dije, I can't even eat it now because now I gotta take pictures. Leña, and then Leña, was it Leña or Leña?
So so when we started that concept, right, we were gonna do leña.
Yeah.
So we were thinking about doing like a Spanish cooking with wood.
Yeah.
You know, como el fogón, things like that.
Yeah.
But then we started doing research on the permits. It was a nightmare.
Yeah.
So that we say, you know what, let's put the Italian place. You know, that we say it's gonna work. You know, for sure. And we call it Lina. Because we already had the name Leña.
Gotcha.
So we say, you know what? Just take the nya away and just put Lena.
Leña, yeah.
Yeah, so it's Lena.
And then you opened up Leña, and was it a hit immediately, or like was because that's also like a completely new concept.
Yeah.
Okay, let's be honest, as entrepreneurs, right?
Yeah.
You're doing something that's extremely difficult, and as an entrepreneur, like I've built business before, right? And you know, and especially the tobacco business, it's extremely hard to start a business from scratch, right?
Yeah.
So because I think a lot of people want to be business owners and want to be entrepreneurs, but they don't understand that they have to be like, okay, we have to get the customers, right? Now that we got to get the customers, we still got people got to understand what brand we are and who we are. We have to get the POS system where everything working, right? And you have to have the employees, you have to have the product. So it's like building a business from scratch is a pain in the ass.
Yeah.
And it's so much easier to buy a business that has all these systems in place, right? Why build another restaurant?
Who wants to sell a successful restaurant?
Mm.
You know, so the ones that are for sale, they're not successful. You know, it's very rare for you to find that unless the people they're too tired, too old. You know, but it's almost rare to find a restaurant.
A gem that's somebody.
So that's why you got to create it. So that's where you become, you know, create it. You put your mind together and you make something happen out of nothing.
What made you think that Leña was going to be successful?
Well, the neighborhood, it's an old Italian neighborhood. And you know what? Just what people are, you know, are asking for. Lucky for us, people are going to MamaSushi like, I don't want hookah, I don't want loud music, I don't want this.
So let
So
me build something that could cater to those
yeah,
people.
so you know what? What is the nicest restaurant around here? So we say, you know what? Let's top it off. Let's make a nice restaurant here. And now you're gonna see them popping up a lot more, in and especially in the Bronx, and all over. Nobody's gonna start doing. Let me tell you something. Even in Malecon, across the street.
Yeah.
You go in there, you would never think that's a like steam table restaurant.
Yeah.
They did a great job. So all these new places now they're coming up a lot better, a lot nicer. The people are smarter. The people are know what they're eating. That's why healthy. The people want to eat healthy. People want to know what they're eating.
That's true.
So it's not like before where you could give anything to anybody and they would eat it. No, now it's completely different. Now people do their research.
Yes.
Now people want
And when we went to Atlanta, we were eating all the food. All the food was delicious, and the place was packed, bro.
Yeah.
And I walked in there, they didn't know who I was, and they were like, "Oh, you have any reservation?" I'm like, "Oh, I don't have any reservation." They were like, oh, "Okay, because the wait is this much." I'm like, that's a win.
Yeah.
To walk into a place and be like, "Yo, the waiting time is going to be like 20, 30 minutes," because there's no more. Tables available when there's so many businesses struggling at that time, especially, what do you think made Leña so successful as well? Because I'm like, that concept was like, I feel like you opened it up and it was a hit.
Yeah. Well, to be honest, Leña was opened the right way. There was no corners cut. We had a lot of talent in there, Tanner, which he has 20-something years experience, he helped us open that place.
Gotcha.
Then Michael Sherman, which is a chef that we worked with in the past, with a lot of experience. He came in, he helped open the place. And Chef Erickson, he's the current chef now, young, talented Dominican.
Oh yeah,
he's 24 years old.
I met him,
Let me tell you something. The guy freaking did chicken nuggets with caviar the other day.
What?
I was laughing at him. He sold it for $95. It sold out, within the first 3 hours.
Wow.
I mean, like, who's gonna order this? I had one, but buenísimo. Now we're like, when are you gonna put it on the menu?
Wait, so how has how's your Dominican upbringing impacted the way that you conduct business?
What do you mean by that?
So it's like, culturally, like, we're different people. And I think, people get the sense that now Dominicans, we're very communal people, right? I wonder if there's any aspects within our culture and our identity that you are applying into your business that's helping you like build these successful businesses, and how has that helped you in any way?
Well, I don't know if I understand too much the question, but what has helped you specifying like Dominican culture?
Culturally, like
Well, let me tell you something. I mean, I'm not gonna specify just based on Dominicans. It's just obviously hard work, dedication, coming from nothing. That's what helps you. It motivates you to make successful places and makes you want to go the extra step, the extra mile. And you're not afraid of losing if at one point you ain't have nothing. So you can always restart. I'm sure a lot of people. It happens to a lot of people. They try to do a place and it doesn't do well. Take that. We opened up a place in Florida. It didn't go well, but we took that as a lesson, and we learned from it. One of the tricks that we learned from it is don't open up a place if you can't get there within an hour and a half. So that's one trick that we learned. Also, we learned the night business a little more because there was more night business over there.
Yeah.
But you can't be afraid to fail. It's just that's a class. Listen, if you open up a few places and one of them doesn't go well, it's fine. That's
true.
It's okay to fail.
It's okay to fail.
Nobody's perfect.
I love the concept of like fail forward. Like if you know that you're gonna fail, I think people are too afraid of failing, and I think with Stephen Bartlett has a fail team, and that's one thing I have adopted so much is like fail fast and fail early.
Yeah.
Fail fast at first because you're gonna learn so many things, and I think we're so afraid of uncertainty sometimes that we're like, yeah, you know what's in her, and it could paralyze you.
Yeah, a lot of people. Let me tell you something. A lot of people get shocked.
Yeah,
And they can't lift their head up. But you know what? Just you failed, sure. Go fail again if you have to. You know, it is. Don't be afraid, because if you're gonna be afraid going on to another thing, you're gonna fail again. Don't be afraid to fail.
is there anything that scares you?
That scares me. Well, I'll tell you. I had a dealership one time, and my partner in the dealership goes to me. I'm laying down on the concrete floor, and I say, I said, yo, Anthony. I said, you know what's my biggest fear in life? It's being homeless.
Mm.
You know, that's all I said. I said being homeless, because it can happen to anybody. You know, you don't have a place to stay. You know, it happens to people.
Yeah, and
so that's my biggest fear. You know, to be honest.
And that's what keeps you going.
And that's what keeps me going. You know, you don't want to get to that point. You want to keep doing good, as much good as you can. Help people out. You know, everything repays.
One thing I noticed about you, and before we close, I want to let you know that the things that I've known for successful people and people I've talked to a lot, and what I've noticed being around you is you are very giving, right? You're a giver, right? That's one thing I noticed about you. You're so quick to be like, yo, I'll come over to your restaurant. You're like, yo, here's this food. Try this out. You're a giver. Like, you came over today. You brought me some sushi. You didn't have to do any of that.
Yeah.
So, you know, there's a sense, this authenticity when it comes to you, and you really care about giving to others. And I think that's why, one of the reasons why you are in the position that you are. You know, there's this book that talks about givers and takers, and they say givers tend to be the most successful ones. And I think you have like this giving personality trait to you that I think it is also incorporated within your business, that's helped you throughout your career.
I mean, the whole team is filled with givers. You know, everybody I pretty much work with, so we're all in tone with that, and we love to give. You know, and help out whenever we can, because you know, if we're in the position that we could do it, then why not? You know,
love that. Thank you for coming over for this episode. This episode has been super freaking interesting. This is the type of conversation I want to have with entrepreneurs, people that are doing things within the community. You know, make sure you guys go out and support MamaSushi. Check out Leña. Leña is amazing. All right. Also, I have a birthday show. You coming to my birthday show? It's on Thursday.
This Thursday?
This Thursday.
Yeah,
At Broadway Comedy Club. Broadway Comedy Club this Thursday. Show up. Lo quiero mucho. Write in the comments what you think about the podcast, and let me know who you think should be the next guest. Make sure to subscribe. Y lo quiero mucho. La pase bien.